Have you ever been in the situation where you have thought, why does everything have to turn into a fight? Why can't we just have a discussion or even, endure some conflict without it actually turning into a fight? I know that I have experienced that before in my life. And here's why. Because when you go into conflict, your perception is your reality. And your spouse's perception is also their reality, but the reality is not necessarily everybody else's reality. So you have your reality and your spouse has their reality. And sometimes those things can conflict, but also, and this is more of what's going on, is that your perception creates the environment where you can misunderstand another person because our perceptions are formed by the experiences that we've had in relationships from the time that we were born. Even in infancy, we are looking at our parents' face, we're listening to the tone of their voice, and we're trying to interpret what that person means. And sometimes the interpretation doesn't come across right, or sometimes our parents are frustrated or they're aggravated about something, and that comes through. And those experiences over time can create what we call core wounds that we've experienced over and over again in relationships. And then you fast forward, you're in your marriage or a romantic relationship, and your spouse says something and it hurts you. And then you begin to react to that. Because when we have a core wound, we become very protective of that place because it's sensitive. In fact, it's almost like if we hurt ourselves. So a few weeks ago, my dog hit my leg with her leg very hard, and it caused this big hematoma, this big bruise right on my shin. And the shin is already a very sensitive place. But what I found myself doing 4 weeks was protecting that shin as much as I possibly could. I would cover it up and tuck it underneath me and doing whatever I can to make sure my dog or just walking or bumping into something that was just super sensitive to make sure it wasn't hurt again. And that's how we are emotionally. So when anybody gets close to that wound or hits the wound, even if it's unintentionally, we react because it's painful. And so there's a couple of things that need to happen to try to that will help you not go from basic conflict or interaction, small discussion, to it's a fight. The two things that have to happen is, one, the person that you're in relationship with has to be aware of what triggers you. And they have to try to not avoid conflict, but avoid hitting that trigger, wording things the right way, trying to explain the intent and all of that. So they have to be conscious of it. But the bigger part of creating an environment where it doesn't turn into a fight is you healing your pain, going back, figuring out what are my core wounds. Am I'm not good enough, or I'm going to be abandoned, or I'm going to be rejected, or I'm too much in a relationship. Whatever the core wound is, you have to heal that too, and both things have to happen. So your spouse has to be sensitive to it, but the bigger part of it is that you have to heal your wounds, and each person has to do that in the relationship. In fact, many times we say it's not really that the relationship is broken. It's the people within the relationship that are broken. And if they will just heal their pain, that relationship will probably go way better than it's been going in the past. Even conflict, because conflict is just a part of relationships, but even the conflict can go better in the relationship. So if you're at a place where it seems like every time you try to communicate with your spouse, it goes from 0 to 100. You go from small conflict about the toilet seat being down to it's an argument where you are cussing each other out or bringing up something that happened 15 years ago, and you're just in this spiral. We can help you. Reach out to us at itsnotover.net. We'll be glad to help you. Thanks.